welcome to the Silhouettes of Success podcast with your host, successful entrepreneur, broker, and business mentor, Amber Weitzer. Because success comes in all shapes, sizes, and styles, the Silhouettes of Success podcast is shining the light on industrious women with a collection of curated conversations of intentional inspiration designed to inspire your heart, ignite your mind, feed your soul, and gift you with actionable insights directly from inspirational, everyday women who've shown tenacity, grit, and grace, having taken on the challenges in their lives and business and won. Remarkable, down-to-earth, and relatable, Amber and her guests will share with you uplifting and extraordinary real-life success stories, motivational ideas that just might help spark something within you. With the deepest desire to serve you, help you grow so you can begin to shine the light that will illuminate your very own silhouette of success. So, let's get to it.
Hello and welcome to the Amber Weitzer podcast, Silhouettes of Success. Our VIP feature guest is an award-winning and one tough outdoors woman, a product of Northern Ontario and the creator of Just Hunt Inc. She is an athlete, inspirational speaker, mom, grandma, TV host, athlete, producer, mentor, hunter, angler. Y'all, I saw this on one of her social media posts the other day. So we're going to keep rolling. This is so cool. Author, gardener, homesteader, marketing executive, clothing designer, Gypsy and Gun Advocate. And I was so tickled when I saw that. She is on a mission to pass on all of this to future generations. She's keeping us intrigued with her outdoor adventures since 2016 with Just Hunt and her new TV series, That Hunting Girl. And she's currently filming her 6th season, I believe, on national television. She is no stranger to the industry, and she has an amazing story to tell with some phenomenal achievements and accomplishments, awards that we want her to talk about from 2021, 2019, and just amazing work that she's doing for the community. Silhouette, let's welcome Amanda Lynn Mayhew to the show. Hello, Amanda Lynn. How are you?
I'm kind of a little bit humbled by that introduction, but I'm good.
Good. I tell you what, there was no way that having your bio, of course, and preparing and all these great things, but then just learning so much more about you and watching you, there was no way I was going to squeeze any of that in. And then you did a post the other day and it was perfect. I loved how you included all of those.
That post was done last night and it has gauged so much traffic and so much noise. And I think there was like 0.5% of it was negative, but I was actually quite surprised that it took off the way it did. And I mean, we, as part of the this sponsor that I took that photo specifically for, we have all done photos and descriptions like that. And yeah, I was surprised that one took off the way it did.
Well, I don't think sometimes as women, we realize how many hats we may wear. Sometimes there are not that many, but I tell you, and just your whole vibe was cool. You know, it was all just cool. So I was one of the positives in your, because it's so cool. All right, milady, let's jump into this. I like to start off the show by having our Silhouette of Success VIP feature guests share a little bit about your background with the audience. So the stage is yours. Talk to us.
Oh boy. Thank you. Yeah. I was never one of those girls that rolled out of bed into a suit of camo and decided that I was just going to go play on TV. I actually lived this life and was born and raised that way in a small remote town in Northern Ontario. My dad was a mechanic. My mom was a stay-at-home mom, and fishing and hunting was, it was something that we all enjoyed, but it was also something that we, it's where we got our best meat and fish and bear meat and moose meat and grouse. It was being in the outdoors and learning how to appreciate conservation and sustainability. And it was what it was. I never thought anything past that. And then growing up, having children at a young age, and I did. And I don't regret it for a minute, although back then things were a little bit backwards. And then just the challenges of being a young single mom, young single teenage mom, and trying to empower my children with the same sort of upbringing that I had. And like my parents didn't have a lot of money either. So I'm trying to figure out where to go from there. And then getting through all that and becoming more involved with the outdoors in my later 20s and, purchasing a farm or a hobby farm with my husband and being able to do all the things that I love being outdoors, and then continuing to be out hunting and fishing and extending those horizons and being included at trade shows and seminars. And, I've worked at gun stores selling firearms. I've worked in marketing. I've worked for the provincial government when it comes to the Ministry of Natural Resources. My passion is fully involved in hunting and firearms, archery, teaching others, and then having the opportunity to actually put that dream to work and creating Just Hunt way back before the TV show, and starting to design my own clothes because of functionality in the field, and people asking me to teach them how to shoot and how to use firearms. And well, that was a no-brainer because I've been doing it my whole life with my children and, my friends and whoever was always interested in being in the outdoors with me. So starting range day and traveling all over Ontario, Canada, to give this program to women who may have been intimidated or may not have had the perfect environment to learn how to use firearms properly and in a safely manner. I provided that. And then I grew a team, the Just Hunt team, and we did it together. And it just blew up from there. People wanted to know what I had to say, and people trusted me with the products that I use and the adventures that I go on, and teaching in hunting and fishing and everything from off-road to firearms. So then Take Me Hunting came into play. And at the same time, a national network came to me and approached me about doing a new pilot project for television. And I was like, oh, you're crazy. You don't want me on TV. And then it just all came together, and it was very well received. And it was a way to showcase all of the things that I've worked so hard to accomplish. And it's all kind of wrapped up in a TV show now.
What an amazing journey. And it encompasses your zest for life. Because it's so clear and evident that it is, and you are a natural, obviously, because it just is where you come from. It is what you know, the way of life, and that authenticity is just shining. You are a shining example for all of us to observe. So what does a day in the life look like for you? Would you say that you are more structured? Do you have a routine? Are you more spontaneous? Because our audience is always exploring and interested in finding maybe some best practices. When we see success, or we see the hard work that it takes to, achieve those successes, we kind of look to each other as women and say, maybe I could implement that component of what she's doing. So what's it look like for you?
That is a little bit of a tricky question, because when I'm in the field, for example, I just came back from 32 days of me personally driving from Southern Ontario to the Yukon and back. So the last 32 days has had a structure, but it's been different when I'm at home. So I am on the road probably half of the year. When I'm at home, I get up in the morning, have a coffee, check on my dogs, make some breakfast, do a little bit of a workout, jam my computer on. I start with having my coffee and checking emails and seeing what I need to do that day. And I go from there. Sometimes there's a little bit of spontaneity. Sometimes it's fully structured. It's just because I do wear so many hats and sometimes things come up. I have children, I have grandbabies. So, maybe the truck has to go into the shop or someone is sick, someone needs a babysitter, something like that. But for the most part, yes, I am quite structured. I am quite organized. I have a way of my desk is set up a certain way. I have 3 computers I work on. One is for editing and production only, one is for emails and business, and the other is for creative design. And I think organization is huge. And you need to find your daily habits of goals that you want to do and you need to continue those. So, like, for example, I love running 5K. I can't do that every day because sometimes I'm driving 8 hours. So, but when I'm home, I try to remember that, okay, yes, you want to get up and you want to go for a run this morning. And when I'm on the road, I use a skipping rope so I can get my 5K, but I'm staying in one spot. Yeah, I don't know if I answered your question, but organization is a big deal for me, and I have to find a way to do it whether I'm on the road, in the field, or at home.
Of course you answered it. You answered it with lots of, and I'm such a note taker with lots of great notes and best
Sorry.
practices. You're very disciplined. Yes.
Yes, yes, I am. My dad always told my sister and myself that if you're going to do a job, do it till it's done and do it right. If you're not going to do it right, don't do it at all.
Mm, yes. Cheers to that.
Mm.
Speaking of dad, and then going back to when you mentioned, um, growing up and the lifestyle, who do you think influenced you the most embarking on this journey or career of yours? But you also talked about maybe how it just started taking place and taking shape, maybe in an organic fashion. Did you always know that this is the lifestyle you would want to pursue for the career segment?
No, I wanted to be an
Mhm.
architect.
Did you?
I wanted to be an architect and I wanted to be on the cover of a fitness magazine. Those were my goals. And I'm like way out in left field.
An architect. Well, you're architecting this whole new way of life for all of us to have exposure to. So you've got that going on.
I guess, yeah, I'm not building houses, but
Yeah. And
um,
fitness magazine. Okay.
yeah. So I had my own fitness magazine kind of in between late or in my like late 20s. I had my own fitness magazine and I had created that because when I was working out and I was a bodybuilder, when I would pick up a magazine to run on the treadmill, it was like 18 pages of ads before you got to anything that made any sense or had any heart. So I said, you know what? No one has a fitness magazine out here that has heart, so I'm going to make one. And I did it for 8 years. And I focused on rare diseases, your everyday person, made it fun, made it funny, went and researched the craziest stories. It was an amazing magazine, but it was ad free, so it was totally 100% out of my pocket.
Yeah.
And so I decided that I wanted to be on someone else's magazine.
There you go. So, okay, we've got to go back. I want to ask you, bodybuilder. So, talk to us about that phase.
I was diagnosed with Graves' disease in 1998 when I had my youngest son, my last son. And I was watching Total Gym infomercial commercials with Chuck Norris. And I was pumped up on all these different medications that the hospital was giving me to try to correct my thyroid, which is what Graves' disease is about. And I was just a total mess. I had gone in for radiation. I seen this piece of equipment. I flushed the pills down the toilet. I went and bought this $150 piece of equipment from Walmart, started using it, changed my life. I called Total Gym. I ended up getting the inventor's wife, Joy, who asked me what I wanted. And I told her my story and how it changed my life. And I'm doing this fitness magazine. And she's like, well, what would you like to do? Or what are you calling for? And I said, well, it'd be really cool if I could do an infomercial with Chuck Norris. And she laughed at me and said I had the biggest set of kahunas she's ever met on a woman. And I said, well, you're either going to say yes or you're going to say no. And my dad always told me that if you don't ask, you don't know. So I asked. And she called me back a few weeks later asking me if I wanted to come to Houston and meet Chuck and his wife Gina at a fundraising event. And so I did. And now I consider him a friend. So
oh my gosh.
Somebody that I grew up watching on television with my dad.
Uh-huh.
And I just seen him at SHOT Show in Vegas 2 years ago, and he was like, "Hey, Amanda, how's it going?" And you're like, "Wow, he knows my name. It's awesome."
Because you asked, you showed up. You showed up for yourself.
I'm not scared to hear no. If I call and ask somebody for something, whether it's sponsorship or a feature on the show or being featured in a show or doing anything, it doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah.
I'm not scared to ask.
Where do you think that comes from? And how can you maybe encourage those that might be to not?
So I have about 30 years of trade show and experience in different industry markets, and cold calling is really hard to do in the beginning. But if you call with enthusiasm and a positive note with zero expectations, and the fact that you're either going to get a yes or a no makes it so much easier. I never in my wildest dreams thought I would be sitting next to Chuck Norris and having dinner. Are you kidding me? I never in my wildest dreams thought I would be on TV. And I actually turned that down at first. I don't know. If you want something and you're determined, you're going to get it. I was really sick for a long time and I was out of shape and I wanted my life back. And so I went and got it. And
wow.
I think from changing as much as I did after my third child, and I mean, the lowest point of my life, I had been a single mom with 2 small babies, living in Southern Ontario in the middle of February, very cold, on a very limited budget. And I'm saying like $20 a week. And I didn't have enough money to pay my hydro, and they turned my hydro off in February. And so that was like the lowest point of my life. And I'm never going back there. And so my life right now isn't successful because of money. My life right now is successful because of the determination I have. And I still don't have money, but the decisions I'm making are dedication to my own life and the fact that I never want to go back to that. I don't know how to explain it. And all my children are independent, responsible, and successful in their own ways. And is that from watching me subconsciously as they grew up? So seeing how much I pushed and determined I was, I don't know.
Well, they definitely observed the foundational blocks and, you definitely instilled into them. And we talked about one of your passions that I read, which was passing this on to future generations. So I think you're doing it and doing it big and beautiful and amazing. Thinking through different, and one of the words I had written down was determination for you. And you just said it. So that is so neat. Do you get stuck? And if you do, how do you break down a seeming barrier between you and a goal or a dream? Do you have any suggestions or tips that work for you that you could share with us?
If I'm having a day where I assumed, and you should never assume, but if I'm having a day where I'm hoping something will go a certain way and it doesn't, it goes in reverse, I just unplug everything, go do something physical outside, go to sleep, wake up the next day and start over again. If you sit there and you stew on the goal that you had and it didn't work out to your advantage, it's going to bring you down, and you don't want that. You want to stay positive, you want to be optimistic, and you want to figure out a different route to go to try to achieve that goal. And you know what? If it's no, then it's no. find a different goal and continue your baby steps until you reach what you're achieving, what you want to achieve. Sorry.
Yeah, that's fantastic. On that same or similar note, as an independent and adventurous businesswoman, where do you turn to for support?
Wow. My parents are now gone. So this last year has been very, very challenging. My husband and my children, and that's about it. My partner in business, Jeff, who is also a producer, and I mean that's don't. My dad was my biggest. My mom previous my dad, but my dad was my biggest, and my dad just passed away in March. So it's been he's the one that I would call, and he'd be like, "Well, just go do it," and I'm so proud of you, and if that's what you want, and figure it out, and how about you try it this way? So I don't have that anymore. So
Yeah.
I don't I don't have that anymore.
It's a group, though, your unit of trusted advisors, it sounds like, with the family, the children, and business partner. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
a lot different though because it
Mhm.
my dad was kind of like the whole thing, like
Yeah.
because he's known me his whole life. Where the husband's only been there for X amount of years, and the producer business partner's only been there for like the TV side of things, and the kids, well, they don't really know behind the scenes of either or, and so it's yeah, I don't yeah, I'm kind of on my own on that right now.
Different phase of the journey, as we say.
Yes.
Yeah, talk to us about Just Hunt and your TV series, That Hunting Girl. What's going on there? You shared a little bit on how it came to be, but talk to us. Share.
Just hunt. Everyone has always asked me, "What are you doing?" And I would always say, "I'm just hunting." It just became a title that made sense. And it was easy, it was simple. I created a business with three programs or three sub companies underneath that. So Just Hunt's Incorporated. That Hunting Girl is a TV show. Um, Just Hunt Bear Strong is the clothing line. And then Take Me Outreach Programs is the Take Me obviously outreach programs, which includes range days, take me fishing, hunting, off-roading, snowmobiling, and everything and anything you could want to learn in the outdoors. And that is my ultimate goal, is to have a lodge resort of some sort where people can come and they can play, stay, and learn. They do everything they want under one roof. So um, it's housed for you to stay in a room or a cabin or an RV spot. You can learn to shoot. So Canadian rules, CFO stuff is involved in that, but there's definitely availability of a trap and skeet shooting range, an archery range, and a rifle setup. There would be a place to learn how to fish, how to ride, learn about boats and motors and how they work, and off-road machines and snowmobiles and hunting and everything to do with that, and hunting clinics, and just everything that I do under one roof. So now Just Hunt Incorporated explodes into an actual, brick and mortar building, and it's never been done before. And I, would have the option to guide people who already know what they want to do, but also have the option to guide people that have never done it before. So being a mentor, and but also giving the opportunity for people to go out on their own if they're already, if they just want to come and hunt at the Just Hunt Lodge. So that's my dream.
That's my dream. Okay, so I just got goosebumps, and I think I will definitely want to take this offline for a conversation. But where are you at in your dream? Because I want to, if you don't, be an accountability partner for you, because this is something. This is really something special, and I hear it in everything you're describing. So Where are you within that?
I posted it online a couple weeks ago saying about how it was my dream and how I was trying to take it to the next level. And I have a business plan done and I've had it for a couple years. A location is a big deal. COVID happened and that was kind of a big deal. Um, I need to have the proper location. I need to have investors to help me see this dream or envision it. It's never been done before, and it's something I'm already doing. Only difference is that I'm going to different locations to get it done. So, yeah, I just need to find the perfect location and just do it. Really, my dad just said, I have it on my bulletin board and my last birthday card I got from my dad, and it's hashtag just do it. So I have to figure out just how to do it. And it could be, and it involves everyone in every level of anything, whether it's creative design, marketing, outdoors, hunting, fishing. It's everything because I've done it all and I can pass on my knowledge on all of those.
It is everything. It's exhilarating, and it's going to happen. It is. It's going to happen.
I hope so.
No, it's going to happen. I already know this. Oh my gosh. Amanda Lynn, we're going to take a quick break to hear from this episode's sponsor. We'll be right back to wrap it up.
Is it time to sell your home? Build that dream home? Right size? Or are you ready to invest in real estate? Couture Real Estate Firm is a local female-owned independent brokerage laser-focused on services exclusively tailored to our clients' real estate goals. With our forward-thinking business model, we have a fully mobile, luxury real estate concept allowing convenience, flexibility, efficiency for our clients in style. Amber Weitzer, broker-owner of Couture Real Estate Firm, has over 20 years in the real estate industry and is a second-generation broker. She provides straightforward business practices, integrity, and intelligence with a commitment to a high-touch, consistent customer service experience. We take great pride in our reputation as a strong, referral-based brokerage. Discretion, tenacity, respect, and proactive business practices have earned Couture Real Estate Firm a loyal, repeat client business with a trusted global partner network. We strive for ultimate client satisfaction with successful results, doing it with class, consciousness, and a little avant-garde. In addition to serving our clients and vendor partners, we are extremely honored to be actively engaged in supporting the communities we serve by promoting small businesses, schools, and nonprofits. Real estate is direct sales business at its core, and we are highly trained sales professionals with the Mike Ferry organization, adding dimension to the industry. Passionate about customer service, dedicated to client satisfaction, and driven to achieve successful results for our clients. Call Couture Real Estate Firm today at 817-233-7239 to discuss your real estate goals.
All right, we are back. So, milady, I'm watching the clock, and selfishly, I'd keep going, but I keep everybody on time. I know everybody has such busy schedules. It sounds like you were just getting off the road, so we want you to do what you need to do. So, talking through so much, and I think we're probably going to want a part 2 and 3. But when do you feel your greatest sense of satisfaction?
When I arrive home after a trade show or an adventure and I am so completely exhausted I can barely move and have to stay in bed for 2 days and watch movies and eat lots of popcorn.
Oh, that's fantastic. That is awesome.
When
Oh
I
my
reach
goodness.
that level, I know it was successful.
Oh, that is so cool. That is so cool. Okay, so we all crave great resources that might help uplift or expand our minds, whether it's a book or a mentor or someone that you follow or quote. Do you have anything that you keep maybe on your desk or by your bedside, or anything that you'd want to share and pass on with the audience?
I have a great big, huge poster above my desk, above my computer that says simplicity. I have a book of Chuck Norris's most incredible quotes that are hilarious and true beside my bed. And I have my card from my dad that's open on my bulletin board with #JustDoIt.
It doesn't get any better than any of those. I tell you what. Oh my gosh, it's great. All right, my lady, it has been awesome visiting with you today. And as we begin to wrap up and share intentional inspiration with the audience, do you have a piece of key go-to advice that you'd want to share with us?
Oh, yes. Be real, be strong, be you. Always.
Enough said. Perfect. Words of wisdom, sage advice. I love that. Okay, so I want to hand this off to you and allow you to have the stage completely. Where can our audience go to find and connect with you and support you in your continued success? Feel free to share your socials or your website or contact information. It's all about you.
Thank you. You can find more about me, Amanda Lynn Mayhew, and That Hunting Girl at www.justhunt.ca. On social media, Instagram, it's official Just Hunt. On Instagram, it's Amanda Lynn Mayhew. On TikTok, it's official Amanda Lynn Mayhew and official Just Hunt. On Facebook, it's Amanda Lynn Mayhew. And on Pinterest, it is Amanda Lynn Mayhew. And on YouTube, it is also Amanda Lynn Mayhew. And all those links are available on www.justhunt.ca, as well as Twitter. Oh yeah, Twitter. Amanda Lynn Mayhew.
Perfect. Well, what we'll do is we'll make sure and get those links and put them in the resource section in the show notes, so the audience doesn't have to do anything but click and find you, and support you in your continued success, and just watch you continue to grow and pass on all of this amazing, absolute know-how to survive in all walks of life, what you're doing, because what you do encompasses just everything that you, whether it's the skills, courage, assets, I mean, everything that you're doing and all of those hats that you're wearing is something that all of us can benefit from. So thank you for everything.
Thank you for having me. This is really great. And I would love to come back, and I would love to talk to you more about,
Yeah, we will. We will. All right, lady. It has been powerful and exciting having you spend some time with us and share your silhouette of success. You are a true light and inspiration for us all.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of the Silhouettes of Success podcast. If you enjoyed the show, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on all the new episodes. We are here for you and with you. We encourage you to share this podcast on all your socials and pass on the light to help illuminate another silhouette of success. To find out the latest ways to inspire your heart, ignite your mind, and gain actionable insights, subscribe at thesilhouettesofsuccess.com or connect with us on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. We're grateful that you tuned in. Remember, you are exactly where you need to be, right here with us. This is the Amber Weitzer podcast, Silhouettes of Success.